Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD is a nasty piece of shit, and as a classic Tony Hawk fan, I'm disgusted and angry for having played it. Now, we should all have a firm understanding of what the Tony Hawk series is about. You do skateboarding related odd jobs around a map in a fixed time limit while racking up massive combos and high scores. You should have at least played one of these games in your life, and if you haven't, then get the fuck out of here. This video is for people who know what they're talking about. So anyway, I decided to play this filth because I saw that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 was coming out, and it struck me like, wow, fancy that. A Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game in this era? I wonder what that would be like. And then I remembered, oh yeah, there was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, a rehash/remake of the Pro Skater series. Let's check this out to curb the hype of what's to come. And I really wish I hadn't played this because my enthusiasm for the Tony Hawk series is now fucking dead. Now, the concept of the game is still intact. You're given a list of things to do these things. It's the execution that's terrible. It's as if the developers never played a Pro Skater game but were shown footage of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and asked to remake it. There's this overwhelming sense of disconnect that makes you question the true intentions behind this game's existence. I was devastated to find out that they removed the revert combo function. That's the stupidest fucking bullshit I've ever heard of in my life. That makes the game dead on arrival. It's a piece of fucking trash, you dumb fucks. It was trying to capture that unfinished Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 feel. It was completely riding on nostalgia. Hell, then why stop there? Let's have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 gameplay and remove the manual. Let's remove the balance meter too. Let's go ahead and destroy all those refined mechanics of our game for the sake of nostalgia. But what's enraging is that they added the revert function back in the form of a $5 DLC. I pirated that shit. You can go fuck yourselves. I understand they were focusing on the first two games for the map and the gameplay, but any Pro Skater fan worth their salt knows that anything before Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 was made obsolete with revert combos. That should have absolutely been in the game from the start. If you're doing a fucking tribute game to the Pro Skater franchise, then why leave out 4? Why leave out the gameplay functions of 3? It makes no sense unless you were trying to make a quick, cheap, nostalgia pandering, lazy, half-hearted piece of shit. But anyway, the revert DLC is fucking useless. It doesn't work 90% of the time. Look here, I do the revert, but it still ends the combo. I hate you fucking idiots. But revert function aside, the physics are funky like my grandpa's dead dick. It doesn't work right. It's got this absolute bizarre artificial fluidity to it that's completely unnatural and sluggy. It does not feel like a real Pro Skater game should. This is how a real Pro Skater game should function. Look at it. Look close. Does it look unnatural and fake? Yes, it looks downright jerky, but, big fucking but here, it feels so goddamn good. That snappiness, that total control over my character. We don't need that sluggy ass look, that sluggy nasty looking shit. That instant one frame jump is fucking beautiful and crisp compared to this ugly shit. This is how an arcade game is supposed to perform. Think of it like a fighting game. We need that instantaneous bunt response. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD underperforms so severely in this area, it's a terrible tribute to the Pro Skater games. The final nail in the coffin is the balance system. To put it bluntly, the balance system is really fucking flawed. The refined and well-known Tony Hawk's Pro Skater balance system was designed so that when you jump from one rail to a different rail, it will slightly reset, giving you some leniency. This encouraged players to hop and switch from different lines and paths that were strategically placed throughout the map. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD will just continue to punish your character for every new trick, leaving you falling on your ass most of the time. It's downright shocking how little the developers actually knew about the series to ignore important details like this, and that's why I'm reviewing this game first before we jump into my thoughts on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. I want to prove a point. Robomoto fucking sucks dick. I thought the Tony Hawk series would be dead with this piece of shit, but miraculously, they've been given another chance, and they're taking on the big one, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. That's fucking right, adding the next big sequel to a solid, dare I say flawless, arcade series. Before I have an aneurysm, let's talk about the good. Online play. Yes, 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 1,000 times yes. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 had a massive online community. This is great news for fans from 2001. Create-A-Park. In addition to being a great feature, it also had a massive community. Shoutouts to Create-A-Review and TXO and all that shit. I also see that we have Create-A-Skater and all the wacky characters. That's all great. But the map design is where we start to get into trouble. You've got the barracks in a school, but remember, it's all about having themes. Airport, suburbs, cruise ship, Alcatraz, the zoo, college. We need more specific themes and not vague wide open areas. This played a role in the downfall of the series. Where's the personality? It all goes to shit after this, and I'll show you why. They once again fucked up the physics. You can't fool me, you pieces of shit. What's with this stopping in midair delayed shit? What's with this slowdown shit? The grind button now acts as a slam button? Have you people lost your goddamn minds? It pauses you to lock onto grinds. Once again, that makes it feel slow and clunky instead of quick and snappy. And maybe that's what you were desperately trying to achieve with this slam button shit, because I keep hearing from interviews that you're bringing back that fast arcade feel, but from the gameplay I've seen, it fails hard. And let's look at the evidence why.
So there are a couple new mechanics, right? One thing that people are starting to kind of try and get used to is the grind button is also a slam button now.
Yeah, no shit, people are still trying to get used to it because it goes against your natural Tony Hawk senses. Look at this gameplay here. You see how this character loses his momentum and drops short of the next grind? It's because he held grind to anticipate the next ledge, but that dumbass slam down shit shut down the whole line. Your heart was in the right place trying to recreate that quick, fast snappiness, but no, it lacks the subtleties of how these lock-on physics are supposed to perform. Oh, and look at that! The balance system is still wrong! God damn it! Look at this gameplay, Robomoto. Get a roundtable dev meeting and look at the fast-paced nature of this. Look at the flow. Really though, unless you've played this and you've played it well, you won't understand the complete nuances of why these controls are so good. Unless you've been in the Pro Skater community, you'll have no idea who Andy THPS is, but he's one of the most skilled players, and this gameplay here is his most famous work. It's a great demonstration of how the map design and controls work so well in the later Pro Skater games. This video looks like shit because it's from 2002, but what are you gonna do? That aside, the essence of how he's playing is what you need to recapture. The Tony Hawk series started to stray away from this at Tony Hawk's Underground 2, and that I believe heavily contributed to the series' downfall. And I'm going to keep this gameplay running. I want your eyeballs to absorb it. I want you to understand that this is how a Pro Skater game should function when it's played at its full potential. Compared to the gameplay I've seen, it's nowhere close. But you might say, Flippy, you need to actually play the game and feel the controls before you judge. No, because odds are if it looks weird, it's gonna play weird. I'll tell you now, what we need is a slightly updated Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 arcade style game. Fuck it, yeah, just give me that. Give me the exact engine and mechanics Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 had, but add new maps and challenges. I don't trust you fuckers to do anything else because you're gonna fuck it up. That's what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna get pissed. I see a lot of critics say that this looks like a PlayStation 2 game. Fucking great, cause that's the last time the series was ever decent. Guys, ignore the PlayStation 2 comments. Don't feel pressured that you need to adhere to industry standards of what a game should be in this modern age. I don't want a fucking modernized Tony Hawk game. That's what got us into this mess to begin with. Trying to stay up to date with the gaming scene by jumping on the motion control fad? Fucking really? And that's why I don't trust a word of what this piece of shit says. Tony, I love you. You helped shape the series and stay true to skaters for the most part, but your word means nothing. You're a salesman and nothing more. So shut the fuck up! Same goes for you, Joshua Sui, you handsome-faced fuck. We will never forget that your goddamn team is behind the worst thing to happen to the Tony Hawk series. I've waited so long for another decent Tony Hawk game, and once again you fuck it up. And this is no doubt going to be the last attempt. You can only do nostalgia pandering shit for so long before you scar even the most hardcore of fans. No one will fall for it again. On the way to the Robomoto office, I hope you all die in a car crash, and that hopefully delays the game and Activision assigns a dev team that isn't a group of incompetent retards. That's the only solution I see to fixing this problem. But from what I've seen, it's too late. And I want you to reflect on this because the world is now going to be a much more dangerous place. I'm going to go outside and commit a few crimes to exhaust my frustration. You guys had a chance to make this something wonderful. I mean, it was always going to sell poorly, but instead of it selling poorly and being known as an underrated final hurrah to a great series, it's going to sell poorly and be known as an underwhelming piece of shit. Robomoto, I'm so fucking angry at you right now. The only reason why I'm not screaming is because I sound like a faggot when I do. But hey, you know, life is a series of disappointments, and I want you to know that you have contributed to that. And just to piss me off even further, it's not even being released for the PC.